G'day everyone. Most developers still copy code or error message into AI agent. However, AI doesn't understand your repo. Today I'll show how GitHub MCP lets AI work directly inside VS Code with your real DevOps workflow. MCP allows AI to interact with repository management, issue and PR, automation, CI, CD, and workflow intelligence, code analysis, and so on. The full use cases are listed on its official repo, which can be found on this video's description. In short, instead of copying files or codes to AI, MCP lets AI come to your repo. There are several methods to set up GitHub MCP into VS Code. Each of them has pros and cons depending on use case. In this video, I will show you on how to set up the local MCP server for better control and security. Let's get started. First of all, Docker must be installed and running on your computer. Secondly, you need to create a new GitHub personal access token by clicking on the link. I won't go very detailed on how to create the token, but please ensure that you only give the minimal permissions to this token. You can always give more necessary permissions to it in the future. Okay, after the above prerequisites, let's open your VS Code. Then open Command Palette via Ctrl+Shift+B on Windows or CMD+Shift+B on macOS. Then enter MCP Open User Configuration command to create the mcp.json file for you if you have never set it up previously, or open the mcp.json file for you, because I am on the later case. So you will notice that I already have other MCP servers like AWS or BuildKite configured on this existing file. That means if you are the first time setup, copy this whole code block. Otherwise, you should only need to copy the code block of GitHub, then paste within the server session. You also need to have one more ID for receiving the GitHub token. Now you are good to save the mcp.json file. Then you should see a Start button one line above the GitHub session on the code. Please click Start, then input the GitHub token. Within the input session, please note that this token input is one-off only if you keep using the same token. After the first time input, you can see the star symbols at the end of the ID. You can move the cursor over the star symbols to either edit or clear the token in a later time. All right, the GitHub MCP server has been set up and running on your VS Code. Next, I'm going to show you how this MCP server can help you do things on your GitHub repo. Take my repo, for example. Let me first create a new branch, pick one file, and update its code. Then I will use the AI agent on VS Code. In my case is Copilot, to ask him to create a commit and a PR based on my code changes. This is a good example. As you can see that Copilot noticed that my GitHub token does not have the permission to create PR. That's totally fine. As I mentioned, you can always give the necessary permissions to the token. Now I am asking Copilot to retry creating the PR. After a few seconds, Copilot seems managed to create the PR via the GitHub MCP server. And let's double check on github.com. Yes, PR is created with some descriptions of my changes, which looks good to me. As you may have noticed that I have done a bad change on my code, so I expect the GitHub Actions workflow will fail on my commit. I want to see if the MCP server can also analyze the errors on the build. However, Copilot tells me GitHub MCP server is not able to do that, which does not match with what I saw on the MCP server official repo. To challenge the AI agent, I give the link of the MCP server official repo to Copilot and ask him to double confirm for me. This is also a good example of working with AI agent these days. You have to do some fact checks by yourself if you have any suspicions to AI agent's response. Fortunately, Copilot found the issue, and there is an environment variable. After adding that, I asked Copilot to retry reading the failure on my commit via GitHub MCP server. Finally, the MCP server returns the failure so that Copilot can read the errors and give me the code change suggestions. Then I can loop back to create the commits and PR via MCP server if I am happy with the changes. Up till now, I believe you should realize that MCP is powerful, but AI can still hallucinate. Permissions matter. Configuration required. However, MCP improves repo awareness, DevOps automation, CI/CD debugging, PR workflow. It is best for DevOps, platform engineers, cloud teams. Please comment, subscribe, love my channel. If you find helpful from my videos, see you next time.